Hey, good evening. How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing really well. Yeah, this is not my normal time, but I like it. I like doing the evening shift. But anyway, thanks for joining us. This weekend is going to be great. Now, have you noticed the last couple of days? Now, it's still been fairly humid with dew points in the upper 60s, but have you noticed the breeze out of the north and east? It kind of makes it feel a little bit more like fall. Well, there's a frontal boundary that's now in North Texas. That's going to push southward, and I think dew points are going to go down into the 50s, maybe even the 40s. And so by Saturday afternoon and definitely Sunday into Monday, you're going to notice a difference. And so it's going to be what I call South Central Texas fall-like weather this weekend. Definitely drier, and it will be breezy. And then next week, going to be watching the Gulf of Mexico. I'm going to be completely honest. It's going to be really hard at this time to tell exactly what's going to happen, but we've got a little time and we'll kind of we'll move through it. Okay, so out there, let's see. Right now, we got a temperature of 84 degrees. We've got clear skies. Low this morning was 75. Record low. You know, this time of the year, we can start to see those lows getting down into the 50s and 60s. The record low was 53. Yeah, that would be quite nice, right? Back in 1974, record high 102, set back a long time ago, back in 1908. That is a long-standing record. And I'm telling you, over the next 2 to 3 weeks, I don't see any chance really of breaking any record highs. We're going to be in a pattern that's going to give us temperatures just a little bit below average for the most part, but some kind of fall-like weather. All right, so this is the way I see it for the rest of this evening. Mostly clear to partly cloudy. Temperatures tomorrow morning will be in the 70s as well. All right, so we did have some showers earlier. Those have pretty much all dissipated. There's a few showers east of Victoria, south of Eagle Pass, but that is all I see at this moment, and I'm not expecting any shower activity at all. Okay, let's take a look at the wind speeds out there. The winds today were out of the northeast at about 20. Well, since the sun has gone down, those winds have come down as well. And you know what? Since I've got a little time, I got a little time. And if you don't mind, have you noticed that for the most part, just kind of as a general rule of thumb, that at the nighttime period, that the winds usually aren't as strong as during the day. And here's what's going on. So we've got this trough of low pressure in the Gulf of Mexico, right? We've got a pretty tight pressure gradient. That's why the winds were a little strong today. And they're going to be even stronger, I think, for tomorrow. But notice at night that the winds relax. They're not as strong. Well, I'm going to tell you, the wind is still there. It's just not at the surface. So what happens is, because the friction of the earth, the winds tend to slow down. But you're saying, well, we've got the same friction of the earth during the day. Here's the difference, though. During the day, the sun comes up, warms that short wave radiation, warms the planet like a rock, and then that long wave radiation radiates back. But in that process, it steers up or stirs up the lower part of the atmosphere, what we call the planetary boundary layer, the PBL. It mixes it up, and so the winds that are usually stronger above because of the lack of friction, well, they happen to come down to the surface because of that mixing process. And so that's why the winds are a little bit stronger during the day. But now that the sun has set, well, guess what? You go up into a helicopter at about 5,000 feet, winds are going to be probably moving at about 30 miles an hour or so, maybe even a little bit stronger than that. But at the surface, because of the lack of the mixing, well, 6 mile per hour wind. Okay, anyway, I kind of got off track there, a little bit long, but hopefully you enjoyed the lesson there. Okay, anyway, here's what's going on. We've got this area of low pressure in the Gulf of Mexico. For the last couple of days, we've had a trough or an area of low pressure in the Gulf of Mexico, and you're probably like, well, this time of the year, that can usually lead to a tropical storm development. Francine would be the next named storm. Normally it would, but in this case, dry air continues to kind of move into it, and this is almost like a cold core, cold core kind of a system, and not really a tropical kind of a system. I don't think it'll ever become tropical, to be honest with you. Up in North Texas, there's a frontal boundary there. That's the front that I was talking about that's going to come in tomorrow. and that's definitely going to bring us some much drier air. Notice up in Oklahoma, temperatures there in the 70s, Amarillo temperatures in the 70s. Okay, let's take a look at the water vapor. Where you see the orange shade there, that's the drier air that I was talking about. And so, for something tropical to develop, you've got to have a lot of the white, and that white is moisture in the atmosphere from the ground all the way up. And at the same time, you can kind of see movement there. It's just shearing the system apart. So this will never develop into a tropical system, I don't think. But one thing is for sure, we've got dry air not only at the surface, but also aloft that is going to be moving in. You can see up there around Dallas-Fort Worth, they did have a few showers today. I don't think we'll see any tomorrow. But anyway, that front will move through and it'll get a lot drier. You're going to love the weekend. Okay, let's keep talking about the tropics here. As you can make out there around the Yucatan, we've got what we call a easterly wave. And that easterly wave is going to continue to slowly move into the Bay of Campeche. And looking at the upper level environment, looks fairly conducive to development. Right now, the National Hurricane Center is giving this about a 40% chance. That seems about right. Question is, let's say it does develop into Francine. Where's it going to go? Will it be strong? Will it impact us? Those are all great questions. This next map is going to be a little busy, but just kind of bear with me here. Okay, so that upside down U, that's that trough of low pressure there around the Yucatan. The wind arrows is what's going on at about 250 millibars or 40,000 feet. And why am I putting those on there? Because you want very little wind arrows and you want really pristine conditions above. The lines here, the little squiggly lines, that's what's happening at about 10,000 feet, kind of the steering current. So let's see what happens. Okay, this is just one model, by the way. This is the GFS, I believe. Okay, so we've got our weak area of low pressure in the western portions of the Gulf of Mexico that just kind of hanging around. But for these purposes, let's just concentrate on this Yucatan situation and the Bay of Campeche. So we've got festering showers and storms over the weekend there in the Bay of Campeche. You've got a big high across the middle part of the country. You got a big high, the Bermuda high, over to the east. So it's just kind of locked in place without much of any kind of steering current. But one thing you'll notice, though, is those winds aloft are really, really light. So the atmosphere is going to be conducive to development. That doesn't mean it's going to develop, but I would have to say there's a pretty decent chance that we could see our next named storm there in the Bay of Campeche by Sunday and going into Monday. Okay, so this is Monday, basically the same area there in the Bay of Campeche, because there's no steering current. There's nothing to really move it. And notice that it's right underneath an upper level ridge of high pressure, so that's conducive for development. So at this point, if this verifies, which I think it probably will, we may be looking at a tropical storm, tropical depression there in the southern portions of the Gulf and not moving very fast at all. And with this kind of a steering current, I would probably say that it would move off towards the west, northwest. I mean, that's what it kind of looks like. As we head into Tuesday, yeah, pretty much that movement to the west-northwest. Looks like the shear is going to increase a little bit. So may not be the strongest of systems, but we'll watch. And for Tuesday, just continuing that west-northwest movement. And then the high really weakens to the north of it and strengthens to the east of it. And I think whatever moisture goes into Mexico will have a chance to move up into South Texas for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Timing is going to be kind of difficult on that, but let's just say Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe even into Thursday. At least that's the way it looks right now. And I can't tell you how much rain. It's just too hard to say how much rain, but it does look like that whatever happens there is probably going to, in one way or another, give us a chance for some rain for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And right now, that's probably the best that I can do. But probably, maybe Francine. So if you've got any trips planned to South Padre Island or the coast, you may want to hold off on that for next week. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, no, let's not do that. Let's go here. Pollen count. Let's see. Molds. Heavy, elm is light, ragweed is light. And Jose, yeah, we did change for tonight. Hopefully that's okay. All right. Temperatures tomorrow, 90 degrees for a high. Northeasterly winds 10 to 25. It is going to be a breezy day. And then as we head into Sunday, low 66. That's going to feel really nice. A high at about 88. Again, a breezy day on Sunday. And then Monday, I think lows could get down to 64, high at about 90. And then here comes our chance for rain coming back Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And right now at this point, I'd probably give it a mid 80s for Wednesday, about 84. And then I'm gonna say this system moves out of the way, gets out of here Thursday, high at about 90. Very well could be in the upper 80s, somewhere around there. And then as we head into the following weekend, the 14th and 15th, 92, 89, and then lower 90s. I mean, like I was saying before, I don't see nowhere near any kind of records, and for the most part, temperatures staying just a little bit below average for this time of the year. May warm up a bit as we head into the 19th and the 20th. So anyway, that's the way it looks right now. I've got to get ready because I got to do the 10 o'clock. But thanks for streaming with us. We really appreciate that, and we want to thank you a lot. Okay, Jose says, it rained a lot at my house, and now my grass has grown. I don't know about 3 or 4 feet, but the grass is definitely growing. And like I always say, good things happen here in South Central Texas when we get some rainfall. And by the way, for the year, we're right where we should be for this time of the year, about 21.5 inches. So not doing too bad at all. All right, thanks a bunch for streaming with us. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you later.